I'm going to go with a more exciting line of going for the Saga game here. Summoner's Pact does nothing, thanks to our opponent's Ashiok. Yeah, that card's pretty good against us. Hello, and welcome, everybody. We are back here for round 3 with the list that you see on screen. We got some Veil of Summers and some Relic of Progenitus just chilling in the sideboard, trying to hate out our opponents in this very intolerant metagame when it comes to the Amulet deck. So we're trying to see if we can overcome the meta that started to solidify around us here. And hopefully we can continue our good start here. We're currently 2-0, so let's just jump into this match and see if we can continue our winning streak or if we're just going to end up 2-1 at the end of this video. Either way, I'll be happy, and you should be too, because we're learning, we're gaining some experience, and we're just having some fun playing some games of Magic. So, I will see you guys in the match. Alrighty, let's hop in here for the match. On the play or on the draw? We shall see. On the draw against Manpants. Very interesting name over there. And we have the classic 1 untapped land, all 3 drops and Titans. I mean, if we had an Amulet, this hand would be fine. Turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 3-drop. But we don't really have that. I don't know. I'm not seeing this hand doing enough on the draw. Like, turn 3 Azusa into turn 4 Titan doesn't seem that great. We need a Castle Garenbrig or another untapped source, I think, for the turn 3 Dryad, turn 4 Titan line. So I think it's a pretty safe mulligan. And here we get a turn 1 Grazer into Saga, which is actually quite nice. We have Vesuva to copy our basic forest as an additional green source. Probably bottoming the redundant Grazer here, I would think, but, I mean, we gotta keep this, right? I think bottoming the Grazer makes the most sense here as well. I mean, if we get to just cast 2 Grazers, then we can put out Titan mana, basically. And I guess there's an argument that we're likely to draw a land here, in which case maybe bottoming a land like the just one of Valka that's just chilling out doesn't seem that bad. We can even activate Saga on turn 2 by playing turn 1 Grazer, which maybe is an argument for shipping a Grazer here, but I'm going to try it this way. See if our opponent leads on discard spell, in which case we'll be happy to have a second Grazer. Just had it all. Clearly, the choice to keep double Grazer was just the best possible choice. There's no other option, really, now I'm thinking about it. Alright, we could fetch Shock, but I'm just going to try to preserve life total here, and not show our opponent that we drew a Misty Rainforest. That is information that is privileged. They don't get to know that. And now we can freely activate Saga on our upcoming turn here with impunity. We might top deck a 3-drop and decide to do that instead of activate Saga, but we'll have to see here. This turn 1 Grazer is very nice if our opponent was planning on dashing out a Ragavan or something this turn. Got him. Alright, let's see what we top deck. Basic Forest. Very solid draw, very solid draw. Alright, let's play the castle, and we'll pass it back. No reason to swing with the Grazer for the memes. Fatal Push the Grazer. You got it, I suppose. And they really want to keep our battlefield clear, huh? Liliana of the Veil. Okay, well, Urza Saga is pretty good against that one, but okay. And I think here we just pitched the fetch land, in all honesty. I guess the fetch land would potentially double as additional Valcut triggers if we got a Dryad into play. We can Vesuva our... Oh no, we're a turn off from Vesuvaing our Saga. That's kind of a shame, because we're about to have to sacrifice this entering our main phase before we can play Vesuva, which is kind of sad. I guess we could also use the breeding pool that the Misty Rainforest gets to transmute, so it might be a little loose, but I'm actually going to ship the forest here. Now I'm thinking about it. The potential extra utility of having the fetch land is probably higher than just having the no strings attached basic forest. We'll pay 1 life to get that basic forest back if we need it, so... Alright, let's go to our draw step here and see what we hit. Bounce land is not horrible. We'll go ahead and make a second token here and clock this Liliana. This basically forces them to minus this upcoming turn unless they just have double removal spell. Oh, they can't even minus because it's about to be 3. Well, we can get Expedition Map, and then in 2 turns we'll have the ability to transmute the Talari West that the map is likely to find, or we could just map for a second Saga, which isn't too bad. I don't think we really need Amulet for this hand, in all honesty, so I'm going to go with the map. And I guess if we want to be able to transmute this upcoming turn, which I don't think we can do, I guess we can... Yeah, we can actually transmute this upcoming turn if we play the Growth Chamber, and next turn we'll have 3 4? No, that's not enough. So we can't transmute this upcoming turn if we put out the Growth Chamber, in which case I think maybe the Misty is the best choice. We can fetch for tap Breeding Pool if we need to. Play the Growth Chamber, use the instep of this upcoming turn to crack map and get a Tolaria West, and then untap and transmute. Plus, if we play the Misty here, then when, like, if we top deck a Titan, then we can play the Growth Chamber and pick up an untapped source, and then have Titan the turn after, so I guess just playing the Misty here is fine. I feel self-conscious about taking way too long to make decisions like that, but it's just the thing you gotta do. You gotta think about these things before it becomes natural to you, you know? So, if you find yourself tanking on very small things like that, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Although, do be cognizant of your clock, of course. Thoughtseize. You got it, opponent. You got it. We'll probably pitch the Vesuva here to the Lily uptick. Goif. Yikes. Interesting. So, we could also map for a Saga and then play Vesuva copying the Saga, and that's not too bad. I don't know, though. If we discard the Vesuva, play Growth Chamber, pick up a Forest, and map for Tolaria West, and we're still 2 turns off Titan, so it doesn't seem like it would be that weak to anything, though. I'm going to go with a more exciting line of going for the Saga game here. It also lets us do something this very upcoming turn, other than just, you know, clocking the Liliana here, so. Alright. We'll go ahead and fetch this Misty. Get that tap Breeding Pool. Draw for turn. Radiant Fountain, not super exciting. Alright, let's start by going to combat and getting this Liliana out of play. Can't let that one stay. We're going to lose a construct in the process, but that is the price that we have to be willing to make. And here we'll just go ahead and map for a Saga and play it. And then the turn after we can Vesuva said Saga and just make all of the token constructs here. I don't know if our opponent has something crazy mainboard that would get rid of our Saga. That would be kind of tragic, I suppose, but this also gives us something to do before we actually try to draw into this Titan, so Grist is interesting. Don't know how to feel about that one. Probably not good for us, to be honest, but swing with the Goif, okay. I guess that makes sense. Alright, we'll draw. Titan? Hey, that is a Titan, so we can actually just cast Titan here if we want to. And let this trigger resolve. We could either activate Saga or cast Titan. I think Titan being able to get a bounce hit and pick up our Saga and then use a Bog to shrink the Goif might be better. We're going to just lose our Titan to our opponent's Grist. However, it's kind of complicated. We could also Titan for Simic Growth Chamber and Tolaria West. And then if they kill our Titan, I don't know, I guess we're still getting clocked in that case. I don't know, it's very awkward. We could Titan and put a couple more Sagas into play. Force them to downtick on the Titan and then still have a couple Sagas ready to activate this upcoming turn. And even getting an additional Amulet or something. I don't know, this is complicated, because I kind of want to just slam a Titan here, but I'm not sure that it's entirely correct. I think I'm inclined not to slam Titan. I'm just going to activate Saga, take a chump block or something, and see where it goes from there. We can also Titan with haste this upcoming turn. Do we want to trade with our opponent's Insect? I think that we probably do, actually, if they want to block. Just to try to keep their board minimal. So they'll have less fodder, potentially, to sacrifice to Grist. This is fine. If we can keep their board clear, then they'll have to sack the Goif to kill our Titan. And in fact, we can attack with our Saga token here before we cast Titan in our second main phase. I believe we can do that. Yeah, even losing a Saga, we Radiant Fountain, we have 4 mana in play. Yeah, we should be good there. So we can force our opponent to make the choice. We're about to be taking 7 from Goif, but, you know, what can we do about that? Opponent upticks to 5, okay. Huh, this is going to be a very close one. Maybe going for the Saga wasn't the best plan, we'll see. They're trophying our Saga, okay. I don't think we actually mind that too much, to be honest. Alright, we'll untap here. Let this trigger go on the stack and resolve. We drew a Saga as well. That's curious. Okay. Alright, let's start by going to combat and swinging at Grist. Because our opponent is almost certainly going to have to minus Grist, sacrificing Tarmogoyf to kill our Titan. So, I'm not super worried about that. If we were playing Crumbling Vestige, we could get Vestige and a bounce land. No, that wouldn't do anything. We'd be one off from being able to activate Saga as well here. I guess before we do anything, let's cast this Summoner's Pact. I guess our opponent has 0 cards, so it doesn't really matter, but we'll Pact for Titan and cast it. I think this is probably the best turn to do so. So here's Titan. We can get Bajuka Bog and Bounce Land, and then exile both graveyards and make their Tarmogoyf a non-threat in case they top deck a creature. Which probably seems like a good idea. We definitely want Bajuka Bog for one of the hits. The other one could be a bounce land to pick up the Vesuva copying Saga, which isn't too bad. Could be a Telaria West, but we don't have a bounce land, so I'm not really inclined to do that. I think it's just Bog plus bounce land. So I guess Boros Garrison. We'll have the green to pay, right? Yeah, that should be fine. And we'll double Bog, just in case. So we're not taking lethal here. We'll Bog them first, I suppose. Always yield there. We can pick up the Vesuva and play it as a copy of Bog. And that saves our Vesuva. I guess that's a good idea. We don't want to lose our Vesuva potentially here, so... Alright, we'll pass it to our opponent. Our opponent's Tarmogoyf has become 0-1. And this is part of the reason why I like Bog in the main, is because of situations like this. They have drawn Seasoned Pyromancer. Well, I mean, they did find a creature to kill our big guy here, so I guess double bogging was a good choice against this particular scenario. So I don't know how well we're doing here. To kill our Titan, of course. We're going to be taking 1. Way better than taking, like, however much was in our graveyard, so... Gotta pay for a pact here. And I guess we'll just pay like so. And I guess we need to top deck something. Cavern. It's not really something. Our opponent has 2 cards. We probably just lose this game. I'm going to play the Saga anyways and hope our opponent has nothing, but... I don't know. Let me know what you think. If I could have done something differently to potentially swing this game, maybe I'll figure out the line as I'm editing this and watching it back. And just yield through the turn here. We do have sideboard Veils and Relic of Progenitus for this matchup, though, which seems like it could be quite good. This Grist definitely is taking over the game, though. I've found this Planeswalker to be quite good, actually. Liliana, okay. That one doesn't bother me too much. I guess it grows their Goyf a little bit. Dashed Ragavan. Okay, well, I think we probably are just dead here, right? This is a 2 damage plus the 2 from the Ragavan, so yeah. I'll let our opponent swing, just to prove it. Down to 0. Yikes. Alright, so let's go to game 2. It's good to know that they have Ragavan, though. I think we're going to want Dismembers specifically because of Ragavan, and Explosives deals with their Planeswalkers and their Goyfs and potential Dark Confidants and stuff. We obviously want Veils and Relics, actually, so I'm just going to bring them both in at once. Explore is good. Grazer is alright, but I don't love it. We can trim on 1 Summoner's Pact. These Caverns can go. Bog's very good. Saga's quite good. We could trim the map so that we can search for Relic of Progenitus instead of map if we do pop a Saga for not Amulet of Vigor, but I don't know how I feel about that. Sometimes map is relevant. Maybe the Dismembers aren't that great. I guess we can trim to 2. Although, maybe if we're going lower on Dismembers, we want an additional Razor instead, so we can trim on and Explore, but Explore seems like it could be quite good here. Garenbrig seems good. Fetchland doesn't seem that super relevant, in all honesty, so I'm willing to trim it. It does play worse around Damping Sphere, but that's about it. 4 cards, man. I have no clue what to cut at this point. Maybe an additional Pact, since we're more likely to be able to keep Titan in our hand with Veils and Explore redraws. I think I will trim the map. I don't love it, though. We might end up in a situation where it bites us. You trim... Nah, Radiant Fountain seems like it could be relevant. Would have been relevant that turn had we played the Radiant instead of the Saga, but I don't think that would have been good. I mean, hindsight 2020, but... I don't know, maybe these Dismembers just aren't great. They're likely to have Douthie Voidwalker as well, though, so... To be honest, I'm more inclined to have a third Dismember than I am to cut on more Dismembers. Jeez, this is difficult. I guess we could trim in Explosives. And... maybe Garenbrig. I kind of hate that. I don't know, let me know what to cut. Just shout it through the screen. I kind of think we could cut a Saga, but that seems kind of ridiculous. I'll just trim and explore and hit submit. No reason to stress about it, I suppose. All right, we'll be on the play, of course. We got Veil, but we don't have the green mana to hold it up on turn 1 here, unfortunately. We do have Explosives. We have Bog to naturally interact a little bit, and a Dryad to potentially cast, eventually. I guess we're going to be able to play turn 1 Garenbrig and hold up Veil from that point if our opponent goes turn 1 Ragavan. I don't know how good that is, but, I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot. It could be kind of weak, but... And we are going to lead on Garenbrig here in case we are able to Veil of Summer something this upcoming turn. I don't know how that came out that way. Alright, our opponent has the turn 1 discard spell. That's, to be honest, that's kind of to be expected, so we'll see what they take. There's a lot of good choices from this hand. If they have another discard spell, they're kind of forced to take Veil here, but otherwise, whether they take Explosives or Dryad or whatever, I guess those are their only other 2 choices. Whichever they take is up to, I guess, what their hand looks like. I'd say it's probably correct to take Dryad, to be honest, but that is if they can't take Veil or don't want to. I would assume they just take Veil here, though. They take the Dryad. Interesting. Well, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Should we just go ahead and get the Bog out of the way? I feel like we should. Especially since if we draw a 3-drop this upcoming turn, then we can just play it off of Radiant Fountain. Exiling ourselves here because Dryad has 2 relevant card types. That's not what I meant to show. The Dryad is both an enchantment and a creature. Exiling their 1 Inquisition doesn't seem like it's going to be super relevant, so... Of course, we're holding up Veil here. Hopefully it makes our opponent's sequencing a little awkward here. Of course, we'll never know, just because we don't really know the flavor of our opponent's hand over there, but... Don't take that too literally. Fetch Shock. Maybe they just play a Goyf here? Kroxa. Each opponent. So we can't actually do anything about this. We've already used our Bog, which would have been nice to be able to hit this Kroxa, but we can actually pick it up with the Garrison, so we can cycle Veil of Summer here if we want to. How bad is that? I feel like it's not that bad. I'm going to go ahead and just cycle it. See what we got coming up. Saga, interesting, okay. I think we can pretty safely just discard the Explosives here. Maybe the Radiant Fountain, since we have Saga for an untapped source. I think I'm more inclined to discard the Fountain. Relic. Ooh, that one's very nice. That one's very good. Alright, okay. Well, we'll play Saga then, since we don't need to use Garrison to pick up the Bog. And we'll play Relic. And we'll go ahead and Relic them just right now, so they have fewer options from their graveyard this upcoming turn, if they have anything that cares about the graveyard, that is. And we'll pass, and if we need to cycle Relic, we can. Still not playing out this Explosives. We may need to hold it for playing on 3, I suppose, if our opponent has Liliana or Ashiok or something. Or if they just, you know, force us to answer a Rin, which admittedly I don't know that they can realistically force us to answer that, but we might be able to just beat a Rin, but something that we would want to Explosives away, you know. Kroxa being in the mix, though, makes me kind of want to... Or the second Kroxa, I mean. That makes me kind of want to discard the Explosives here, as... I guess the Garrison's not really helping us get to Titan mana, but... I mean, it is if we top deck a green source. We can go ahead and pop the Relic here, which I don't really mind. I'm going to go ahead and do that. just to give us more information. Exiling the Croxes is probably good enough. All right, we'll let this go. I think we could just discard the Summoner's Pact at this point. I guess we could pact for... Nah, if we pact for anything and it dies, then we also just die. So I think probably discarding the pact is fine here. The Thoughtseize, that's fine. They'd probably take the Titan, I have to assume. But we have Saga to set up some things to do here, so not too worried about it. Probably main phase activating and playing Garrison to pick a Bog, I guess. We could also consider picking up the Saga, but that would be kind of slow. If we could pick up the Saga and then immediately replay it, say if we had like a Dryad or a Azusa out, then that would be much better for a line, since the next turn we'd be able to immediately activate. But since we'd have to play the Saga next turn and potentially have nothing to do, I think that just picking up the Bog is going to be better. Trying to make land drop progress, letting us use our mana while we're waiting to top deck Titan, of course, after our opponent takes this one, which they're taking forever to do. You know, and also setting up an Amulet could be quite relevant as well. Like, we play Garrison, pick up the Bog, and then the turn after, and two turns from now, if we have a Titan, then any bounce land lets us just cast Titan. They do take the Titan, of course. Force ain't bad here either. Alright, we'll let this go. Is there a reason to play Force over the Garrison here? I guess playing around them having a way to destroy one of our lands could be a relevant factor. I mean, we're definitely activating Saga. We're doing this on instep if we play the Forest, however, which is why it's important to decide now which land we want to play as well. Because if we're going to activate Saga, we need to do it first to pick up with the Garrison. I think letting the Saga go is going to be fine. But we do want to play out the Garrison, so I'm just going to go ahead and activate here, play the Garrison, pick up the Bog, in case our opponent has something else that we need to get rid of from their graveyard, and pass it back. Then, if we can top deck a green source and a Titan, over the next few turns we'll have Titan with Amulet out, and in the meantime we'll be making a second construct and searching for something. Probably an Amulet, possibly the map, since I think we killed the map. Yeah, we got rid of that one. Ashiok. Well, we have this Explosives we've been saving this whole time. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to search with our Saga, but... Interesting. And I think I'm willing to risk it and activate to get a token here, because just casting Explosives is weak to our opponent having like a Kolaghan's Command or something, so... We could Bog ourselves here, or we could play Saga. I guess playing Sagas... No, playing Saga may not be great if we have to play Explosives to kill this Ashiok, so... We could also just play Explosives now and clock Ashiok for 3. That doesn't seem great, though. I think I'm inclined to Bog us. And then just swing for 2 and pass. This does play into our opponent having like a removal spell and discard spell. I think I'm fine with that, though. They have only 3 cards now, so... We'll just have to see how it goes. They do Inquisition away the Explosives. Well, if they have Kolaghan's Command, we could still be in bad shape, because they kill both of our constructs, but... We'll see. Hopefully they're cracking Peatland. They could just have double removal spell here, in which case we might be in some bad shape, but... Liliana. That one's not great either. Sack the tapped construct, I guess. We might just now have to attack Liliana for 1. So I guess it's not the end of the world. We'll play Saga here, of course, so we can get some more constructs in play. We definitely are killing Liliana here, I think. Sure. Can't let that one stick around. We like to have cards in hand. Sorry, opponent. And we can just yield here, as we can't do anything with a Saga on 1 counter, so... Them having land is actually pretty good for us, I think. Crack Peatland. Not a bad sign, per se. Ragavan. Just hard cast, huh? And Confidant. Interesting. Wonder if they block the construct. Summoner's Pact does nothing, thanks to our opponent's Ashiok. Yeah, that card's pretty good against us. Alright, well, I mean... I think if our opponent wants to trade with either of the creatures they've got in play to get this construct out of play, then I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm just going to clock. I would imagine they block with Ragavan, perhaps? Yeah, we'll let this go. Play the forest and pass. We're going to get 2 more tokens out of this saga, so our opponent first reveals Bloodstained Mire. I mean, it didn't take them any points of life, but it also is just a land, so not the worst thing in the world. If they attack with Confidant, do we trade? Kind of feel like we should, to be honest. Which is probably why our opponent doesn't attack. Alright, we'll go ahead and activate this. If we draw Slayer Stronghold, that would actually be quite good here as well. Stronghold? Dryad. Interesting. Okay. Well, we definitely want to activate this before it leaves our presence, so... Alright, let's start by clocking Ashiok for 2, I suppose. See if they want to trade. No blocks, huh? I mean, I guess Ashiok on 1 is just as good as Ashiok on 5 at this point. We'll play the Dryad. I'm not inclined to play out the Forest here, though, because if our opponent wants to Crocs to us, we can pitch the Forest and still have access to Titan here, especially since Dryad will fix our mana for green. So if we are able to get our opponent's Ashiok out of play, we'll be able to activate Garenbrig and cast Titan, so... This is a bit of a nail-biter, I'm not gonna lie. Our opponent reveals Tarmogoyf. Interesting. Now, we'll not save their Ashiok, but it might block and kill our Dryad if we have to attack with everything. They play Liliana as well. Yikes. Well... I kind of feel like we should sack the Dryad here, not gonna lie. Sacking Construct means that we only have a 1/1 to attack with. Yeah, this is not actually going that great for us. I guess sacking the Dryad is bad if we top deck Valcut, though. Alright, I'm sacking a Construct. Here's the Goyf. And pass. Goyf is currently a 6/7. Alright, let's see what we top deck. Grazer. not the best look for you, Arboreal Grazer. Not really feeling it this particular time, but, If we swing both creatures at Ashiok, our opponent absolutely has to lose their Dark Confidant to keep Ashiok in play. But we're also going to be losing both of our creatures to our opponent's Tarmogoyf and block with the Confidant. So, as they block the Dryad with the Goyf and the Construct with the Confidant. But, I mean, I think our only option is to get this Ashiok out of play, so... We'll go ahead and swing both at Ashiok. Liliana at 1 doesn't really scare me at the moment. And they are trading the Confidant. Okay. I mean, we're still probably going to lose to the Ashiok sitting there at 1... No, don't want to cast that. Sitting there at 1 freaking health, but that's okay. We'll play out the Forest and pass. We have Titan mana in play, but we kind of have 2 blanks in hand, so... Yep. We'll pitch the Grazer here, I guess. That'll kind of suck, I guess, if our opponent attacks, has no other creature, and we top deck exactly Stronghold, then I guess we could have Stronghold the Grazer and killed the Ashiok or something. They have Ragavan. Okay, well, I think we probably lost this game, too. We just got junded. We'll see. They exile Simic Growth Chamber. I guess we're kind of happy not to have drawn that one. Relic. That one ain't bad. That one ain't bad. Alright, let's go ahead and do that now, I suppose. Shrink our opponent's Goyf. Dismember. Ooh, we can dismember to kill the Goyf as well. We know our opponent has Ragavan, though. I think I'm more concerned about Ragavan than I am about this Goyf, so... Inquisition. Well... well... I guess we care about Tarmogoyf now. Yeah, don't really have a choice, so... Yeah, I still think we're in not great shape. That was a very good Inquisition, believe it or not. They exile Forest. Well, we're glad to not have drawn that one. Alright, we need something good. Castle Garenbrig is not that great. I mean, we have to play it because our opponent's Lily will take it away from us if we don't. It's kind of gross that they can dash out Ragavan and have it in play until, you know, after they have it in play before they uptick Lily, and then at the end of turn return it so they can still have a card in hand. That's kind of gross. I mean, it's awesome, but yikes. I didn't see what they exiled this time. I guess it must not have been relevant. Veil of Summer. Okay. Well, all I can say is this Veil is a really great top deck. Yep, dash Ragavan. I was wondering if our opponent would do this, as if they upticked Liliana first, that would play around us having top deck a Dismember. But I guess they did not want to play around that, so... Or maybe they just needed this card that is in their hand. They hit a Dryad from us. Admittedly, that could be a problem. This stupid Ashiok on 1, destroying us. Seasoned Pyromancer. No black or blue spells cast this turn, so we can't even cycle Veil. So, yeah. It's a thing. They're just playing our Dryad, I almost guarantee it. It's not going to be a blue or black spell. Although Cycling Veil wouldn't do much against this Liliana anyways, so... Oh, it's a Grist. That's so much worse. I mean, we'll let it go. Play land, and now they're gonna Lily uptick us. I don't know if it's correct to cycle Veil here. I think it's probably not. I can't think of a reason why cycling Veil would be good. I guess if we hit a non-Titan card... If we hit a non-Titan card and then draw a Titan for turn, like hitting this Ghost Paper and then top decking a card that we can play, then it's like better for us to do it this way. And we have more non-Titan cards than Titan cards, so I guess probably cycling Veil is right there, but I don't really know. Valcut. And we're dead. Alright, well, we'll just go ahead and scoop it up. They can just dash Ragavan, and that's lethal, so... We got Junded. It's all good, it's all good. It does happen sometimes. Let me know if I made any mistakes, play errors that you can point out and help me and others grow in our knowledge of this deck. Unfortunately, our good start came crashing down. We are currently at 2-1, which is admittedly still not that bad. So, anyways, that was a fun match. I hope you enjoyed it, because I definitely did. And I will see you guys in the next round. This is Redface Menace, signing off.